come on in the room. Bucks win it tonight, 133-123 over the Phoenix Suns. Much needed win tonight over the Phoenix Suns, 133-123, spoiling the homecoming of one Mike Budenholzer coming back to Milwaukee with the Suns. And I mean, if you're a Phoenix Suns fan, my goodness, you needed this one. Katie's rolled his ankle, and I said it. I said it before. But you talk about listen, it could always be worse. I think Bucks fans, there's just always feeling, oh man, we're not good enough. This isn't going to be the year. Whatever. It could always be worse. And tonight, it just shows you it could be worse. But the Bucks are clearly better than the Phoenix Suns. Again, I don't have any. Listen, with our injury history, I have zero sympathy for them guys missing Kevin Durant. Zero sympathy. Bradley Beal, they've been playing better without Bradley Beal anyway. So zero sympathy with all the guys that we got out. I have no sympathy for them. Go out there, go get a win. Oh, that's right, you couldn't. 133-123. Doc is our doctor. Right to Chris. It gives us our medicine in our room. We are live. Creeps to the crossover. Creeps crossover.
Chris King.
Justin.
Yes, sir. In the building as needed. A 133-123 victory for your Milwaukee Bucks. Get at me in the chat. Get at me on the Twitter at TCIIIESQ. I'll ask you preliminary before I even look at the chat. I'm not gonna say does the win move you? What the Bucks run of 4-game losing streak? Am I right?
Yes.
You know, 4-game losing streak coming into tonight. You needed this win for yourself. I think. I wouldn't have cared if you won this game 2-0. I would sometimes you just need a win. It's like AJ Green we talked about before we ended the last show. It's like when AJ Green was slumping. You just got to get one to go through the net. You got to get one to go through the net. And the Bucks needed to put a W up on the board. That's what they needed. It's about positivity. So I'm not really asking, does it move you, but does this give you a little bit more positivity? I would say I was looking at Fiserv to start this one. There's a lot. Again, we talked about this before on the show too. Apathy. It was empty in there tonight. I think the crowd filled out a little bit better. Maybe because the Brewers were playing. I don't know, but I don't know why the hell you go see the Brewers the way they've been playing. They've been looking like complete trash too. They did get a win tonight, so the arena did fill out a little bit, but there was not. The Bucks won this game with minimal crowd energy tonight. Tickets were very low. Selling. I was just looking. It is, Justin. It is hard. It is more expensive to get into a Charlotte Hornets game down the stretch at the end of the year than it is to get to a Bucks game. I mean, I'm not joking. Like, go look up the ticket prices. I'm not joking. It's $30 to get lower level tonight in Milwaukee. So if you didn't go, you just didn't want to go. And again, I'm just saying for the people who are, especially people that Giannis is going to leave. Oh, he's going to ask out. Then damn it, you better get the Fiserv if that's how you feel, because there's no way I would let this thing go without seeing him in person one more time or whatever that is. So if you really, really feel that way, it's even more of a reason to get down to the Fiserv and watch the Milwaukee Bucks tonight. But again, they won this game. Crowd energy was low. It was empty to start. Filled out okay. But you know, and they almost choked this one away. They were up multiple times in this game. 15 points. It was one of those things where I know people get upset that you don't win by 20 and you don't blow somebody out by 30 the entire game. But, it is in some ways, it's still impressive when you're up 15, Phoenix can take the lead, and then I run it right back up to 15, 16 points. Like, in some ways, that's impressive too. Trying to be positive here. 133-123 Bucks win. Let's do a game recap on this. Giannis was incredible. One knock I will have, and I usually don't do this. I told you, I'm always, in my opinion, I try to be fair to everybody and looking at what they do. That's why you'll never hear me complain about Giannis' free throws tonight. He was 11 or 12 from the line, but I'm never going to really complain. I don't usually complain about his turnovers. A lot of them are charges, things of that nature. I know he's handling the ball, probably more than he should at times. I don't really complain about the three-point attempts. Because, again, you're keeping the defense honest. Guys want to sag 7 feet off you. I don't mind if you pull one every now and then. But 5 rebounds is unacceptable. When a especially when you are struggling to rebound the basketball defensively. And I get it. He has 37, 11 assists tonight. This should have been the easiest triple-double Giannis. There's no game Giannis shouldn't have 10 rebounds. No game. And so, yeah, I was disappointed in his effort on the boards. But he did everything else. 37, 5 rebounds, 11 assists, 3 steals, 1 block, 12 of 18 from the field, 2 of 4 from 3, 11 of 12 from the free throw line, plus 23. How about Giannis Antetokounmpo? Brook Lopez, 22 points tonight, 6 rebounds, 6 assists, 10 of 13 from the field, 2 of 3 from 3, plus 15 tonight for Brook Lopez. A lot of people looking for silver linings. If you weren't impressed with tonight's win, the Bucks shooting over the last couple, even the game they lost the other night, the shooting was outstanding. They didn't play look at defense the other night, but the shooting against the Hawks, shooting was outstanding. And they continued that again tonight. Something to look forward to when you're looking at the playoffs. Can you shoot like this? All 5 starters in double figures tonight. Taurean Prince had big shots throughout the game. 16 points, 5 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal, 1 block. 6 of 8 from the field, 4 of 5 from 3. Kyle Kuzma, 12 points, 4 boards, 5 assists. He's 5 of 10 from the field, 2 of 5 from 3, including some big shots in the fourth quarter for him. Not a team high, second on the team, plus 26 tonight. For all you plus minus people, that'll do something for you in your bones. Because I always hear about the plus minus stuff. And so Kuzma with a plus 26, that's good. Disappointing him too, rebounding. And I'll say this about Kuz. I thought the defense, even though he gives up, Book had 39. Listen, I thought it was a tough 39 Book had to work for. It was reminiscent, not exactly. I know y'all gonna say I'm reaching, not like PJ Tucker against the Brooklyn Nets and how he did Kevin Durant, but it was PJ Tucker adjacent, where Booker had a lot of. I thought they were tough shots. And in the first half, Book had 5. All 5 of his turnovers came in the first half. So he kind of had some. I thought he had some issues. He figured them out. It finished with 39, but I thought a lot of tough looks from Booker. And in the first half, I thought in particular, he was very frustrated, even though I think he did in the first half like 22. I thought the defense on him was excellent. Bucks lost Grayson Allen a little bit down the stretch. We'll get to that too. But Ryan Rollins tonight, 23, 5 and 5, 2 steals for him, 8 of 10. Again, that's I'm looking at the field goal percentages. Kyle Kuzma had the lowest field goal percentage of the night for the Bucks. He shot 50% from the field. Think about that. The lowest field goal percentage of the night came from Kyle Kuzma, and he shot 50% from the field. Kyle Kuzma also had the lowest three-point percentage of the night, and it was 40% from the three-point line. So the Bucks shot the ball extremely well tonight, all over the floor. Ryan Rollins, 5 of 7 from 3 tonight, a team high, plus 29. Gary Trent Jr., 6 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists. Pat Connaughton, 8 points, 1 rebound. Kevin Porter Jr., 9 points, 1 rebound, 2 assists for him. Again, but your bench guys, this is the only reason they were in the game. Gary Trent was a minus 18, Pat Connaughton minus 17, Kevin Porter Jr. minus 19. The bench unit, and again, think about Doc only going 3 deep on the bench. Stuff to talk about. I won't belabor the point. We'll talk about it in a little bit. Nick Richards, 13 points, 11 rebounds. Too much on the rebounding game. Talk about Devin Booker, 39 and 11. Gillespie, 18 points, 4 assists. Ryan Dunn, 5 points, 3 rebounds. Grayson Allen, 23 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, 8 of 17 for him tonight. Which Martin is this? Caleb Martin? I get him confused. Or Cody. Okay.
Caleb.
One of them twins, 3.6 rebounds. Tyus Jones had a stretch there. I think that was in the second quarter, or was it the third quarter? He had a stretch where he started cooking. I think that was before halftime. 16 points, 2 rebounds for him. And then my man from Marquette, 6 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal from him. Shaka Smart was in the building watching, but it all added up to a 133-123 victory for the Milwaukee Bucks. And I'll just say this again, I thought the Bucks made it hard on them defensively. You're up 12 after the first quarter. Phoenix hit 7 threes in the second quarter to get themselves back in it. Bucks then were a +9 in the third quarter, winning that 35-26. So, I mean, it was really a tale of each quarter, and then you basically played the fourth quarter to a draw. The Suns were +2 in the fourth quarter. But again, the difference tonight, you start off strong. You only give up 19 points in the first quarter. That was big to go ahead and get yourself a lead. And again, it just gives – that's why starting strong is important. It gives yourself that cushion to withstand a 7 of 10 or 7 made threes in a quarter for the Phoenix Suns. Issues, defensive rebounding. I do think that gets solved. I know you could be upset about it. I think that gets solved with Sims and Bobby Portis coming back. I think that you should have some help there on the rebounding front. And then, just miscommunications defensively. 123 is too much to give up. I thought there were some moments where defense was good, and there were some moments where you miscommunicate, where there are some lapses. And again, some of that 123 comes from giving up offensive rebounds. I just want to look and see real quick. Box score, how many offensive rebounds did we give up? We gave
18,
up
15.
15 offensive rebounds tonight. It's just too much. It's too much. And then the other thing, turnovers. You have 18 turnovers tonight to Phoenix's. I think they actually have more. I don't know if they're counting this just by numbers of individual turnovers or if they're counting team turnovers or whatever. But I see 18 on the NBA box score. Too many turnovers for the Bucks. Too many turnovers. I thought the fourth quarter, I thought the last 6-7 minutes of the game, I thought the referees kind of took over in the last 5 minutes and called some fouls I didn't think were necessary. I'd be interested to see how many fouls Phoenix actually got called for in the fourth. But yeah, this was last thoughts. This was a masterclass from Giannis to make sure that the Bucks were going to win this basketball game. And then Ryan Rollins down there in the stretch and throughout the game was really good. He was phenomenal. We'll talk about him a little more too. 133-123, a win for your Milwaukee Bucks. That's what I saw. Chris King, what'd you see?
I normally don't do this so early in the show, but the Bucks were bullshitting tonight. They were bullshitting. When I looked at that fourth quarter and I saw, okay, we're up, really towards the end of the third, how they were able to cut it down to 12, and we had an 18-point lead. And you're right, Trey. I think there were some calls that were a little unnecessary, all those illegal screens in the fourth quarter. But at the end of the day, that all translated into how the Suns were able to cut this game down to 4 points. And it was glaring to me how much the Bucks still play undisciplined basketball. We can hear all these people talk about how good Doc Rivers is, and even people that maybe come on our show say that Doc Rivers is a good basketball coach. But sometimes this team just plays undisciplined, stupid basketball, and that's what I saw down the stretch in that fourth quarter. I think, to be honest, we'll talk about Ryan Rollins. I think he really saved us from a potential disaster, because that was a tough left-handed floater he had to get the lead back to, 6? And then he hit a big three that made it a 9-7-point game, whatever it was at that point. If you don't have that, I saw multiple, illegal screens. I saw Giannis settle for a jumper late, not move the ball. I saw Giannis turn the basketball over late in that stretch of the game, and that could have been disastrous had Ryan Rollins not stepped up. So that's a positive in the negatives. I think this was a clear Giannis game as well. Like, this is a game where they don't have the horses to really stop you, and you go for 37, you knock down your free throws. That's what we expect out of a Giannis Antetokounmpo. So, to me, I think I would be much happier with this victory. And I'm never really one of those guys that says the Bucks should have won this game by X many points, because I understand that it's the NBA and things happen, teams go on runs. But I think a lot of that run that Phoenix went on was self-inflicted by the Bucks, and that's why I can't be too excited that they were able to get a win. I'm glad they got a win back in the win column, but I can't say I'm very impressed about what I saw tonight.
Let me do just reach out to Super Chat from NYC. Damien, appreciate it. He says, Doc is truly terrible. I don't understand what he sees. How does Andre get a DNP, but Pat C gets 20 minutes? He is the reason I don't have faith in this team. He has to be gone after this year. Has to. NYC, I'm not even going to sit here and deny that. They said, I said I was talking about it. I don't understand the only going 8 deep when you have this many guys out, when you're giving up 123 to Phoenix. Again, I thought Kuz did a decent job on Booker, but why don't you allow Andre Jackson Jr. to get in the game and try his hand? I'm with you. And especially Pat Connaughton, I don't know what he does on both ends of the court. So I'm with you, NYC. I do think Andre Jackson Jr. should have at least gotten some type of run. And then the other thing, when you're not able to rebound a basketball, again, he is a high flyer. You're not wrong. I don't think you're wrong. Andre Jackson Jr. should play in nights like tonight. I don't disagree with that at all. Sorry, Justin.
Yeah, let's get to what Doc said then, since we want to talk about how bad of a coach he is. 1,155 wins. Tied Phil Jackson on the 7th of all-time rings. Tied arguably one of the best coaches of all time. He's a bad coach, though. He talked about how his players and how his coaches really attributed to that, and he's really so thankful for that. With Dame out of the game, he went to Giannis, told Giannis, "You are now a point guard. You're gonna have to you're gonna have to draw attention. You're gonna have to trust that you're gonna make the right decision." He felt like Giannis made the right decision a lot of times tonight. There were times where he didn't, and I think what you're seeing right now when you're seeing these guys, never mind, I keep going. Ryan Rollins, absolutely awesome, just phenomenal key buckets, great playmaking, and Rollins talked about, because they did him on the post-game interview, how he has never lost his way and lost his trust in himself. Kid has a lot of confidence. This is me talking now. I fully would love to see him sign for more than 1 year. I think that we have a unique situation, and as these two young brothers mature into good, great potential basketball players, we could be looking at something pretty special with Ryan Rollins and Kevin Porter Jr. Sorry, I lost my track. Brooklyn. He had Brook, and he's talking about how with Dame out, we got to use Brook. And, 37-year-old Slopez, as some of y'all folks call him, I thought he had a good game. I know Brook ain't going to get the hate that he got the last game because he actually played good tonight. So when he plays good, all you people that talk about Brook, we can't find you. It's all right. You like the remote. You're hard to find. Sorry. That's common, too. Common sense said that. We have to stay focused, man. These turnovers were bad. He saw it a lot of times. He wanted them to get the ball down low to Brook, and they forced it a lot. Just side note to one of my thoughts, Taurean Prince has to get much better with that pick and roll, man. He is throwing the ball away too many times, and even when he's not throwing the ball away, it's deflected out of bounds, and the Bucks regain possession. It just has to be cleaned up if we're going to win the first round series. Go ahead.
Anything about the entry passes? You talk about throwing the ball away. Like, and it seems like every single time, I'm not saying every time, they have a tough time. I've never seen it. This reminds me of like AU, a middle school team. They have a very hard time passing the ball into the paint. I don't understand that. For a professional basketball team to not be able to get the ball down to the block to a 7'2" guy, I don't understand that.
Yeah, I know, real quick side off the rails for Doc, but I know my middle school coach, Keith Bearden, he watches sometimes. Keith used to have this thing where we turned over the ball like that, he'd make you run till he got tired. The only difference is Keith was standing there shooting jumpers and free throws. He wasn't running. And I don't know, man. I got a solution to help this Bucks team, too. I told y'all in the chat we're going to get to it tonight, too.
Good. Okay.
Talked about how sloppy these turnovers were. But they're so close to being an amazing offensive team. But there's a gap they got to fill in. Talked about how phenomenal Kuz was on defense. A lot of those open threes that Grayson Allen hit. I saw them in the chat talk about Grayson Allen is a better shooter than Damian Lillard. I think that's just crazy. That's just wild talk to me. But anyways, those traps is what helped to open up those open threes. He talked about teams that make runs, but he talked about the resiliency of the Bucks to kind of stay the course. That kind of lead it into Chris's BS comment and stuff like that, which, I mean, I don't know, man. Like, I want to win and I want to beat everybody by 20. But tonight we just had a lack of execution. Definitely Taurean Prince, man. He did a lot of great things tonight, but we got to clean up that ball, the ball handle on the dribble drive. I thought Giannis and Brook had a couple wayward passes. Kevin Porter Jr. threw one to the scoreboard at one time. So we got to clean that stuff up. But the Bucks shot 69% from the field today, 59% from threes, 93% from the free throw line. We talked about the turnover. Ryan Rollins hit on this. I agree with him. We could not lose 5 games in a row. We just cannot do it. But all in all, man, like, I just feel like at this point where we are in this season, any win is a good win for us right now. After losing 4, giving up a gazillion points to the Atlanta Hawks, we had to find a way to come in here and set the tone. And like you said earlier in the monologue, Trey, hopefully this is the layup that goes in, and now we build off of this, and we go forth into the playoffs. I think we're in a good spot as far as who we have coming in. We got a lot of people who are shutting their teams down for the year because they don't care anymore. So take advantage of that right now, man. Just win basketball games. That's all we can do right now.
Yeah, no, you have to win, and that's important. It was important just to get the win. I agree, and I'll say this: all the points you make, Chris, where you're talking about their BS and you were pointing out some of the bad things about this basketball team that they may have done tonight. I'd rather talk about those in a win and how to correct those in a win versus talking about them in a loss. And just as a great point you made too, or I don't know if Doc made it, if that was your thought, where this team is very close to being a. Listen, I mean, I get it. It's the Phoenix Suns. I get their defense has been bad. I get they have seemed like they've quit on their season. Probably not gonna make the playoffs. But there's something to be said for shooting 69% from the field. No Damian Lillard. When like Damian Lillard came out there, like that is hard to do when against any opponent. Those guys get paid too. So to shoot almost 70% from the field for an entire game, yeah, there's something there. Brook 10 and 13, Rollins 8 and 10, tough baskets, and again, some of those shots were in the clutch at all different times. Again, your fourth quarter. Well, I mean, these you could have easily talk about the Bucks, and people talk about the Bucks how they've had bad fourth quarters and clutch stats and all this. There are 38 points in the fourth quarter for the Bucks. Now they gave up 40. With 38 points in the fourth quarter, that they get, and that's Mickey. I don't think that's called. Mickey says that's luck. What they shoot the other night against, they put up 120. Damian Lillard, you put up 124 against Atlanta the other night. Put up 124 against Atlanta the other night. So again, and almost shot 50% in that game. So I don't know if it was luck. I thought the offensive execution was good when you're not turning the ball over. That's key. And then if you could create and generate some second chance points, and again, look at your starters tonight. Look at your starters. Your starters tonight were excellent. Go down, Kuzma plus 26, Giannis plus 23, Brook plus 15, Prince plus 11, Ryan Rollins plus 29. Your starters absolutely destroyed the Phoenix Suns. That's what we just saw. Your starting group destroyed the Phoenix Suns tonight, and your bench units had some problems. Christian Gallego in here says Chris looking good tonight.
Hey, well, let's
get Chris some more screen time. Go ahead, Chris. It's your time to shine, dog.
Yeah. I think to me, like, you look at some of the numbers that they've had without Damian Lillard and even without Giannis against the Nuggets in that game, and it's like this team does have still a little bit of potential. You talk about what people say when stars are out, it's the ball moves better. And I saw some of that tonight. When I was watching the game, Van Gundy says the Bucks don't score isolation right now. They're scoring when they're moving the ball. And I agreed with that. I thought that was true. I thought you saw the offense stall out and create turnovers when they would just play isolation or go into just the two-man pick and roll with Brook and Giannis. And we know how bad the Bucks transition defense is. Right? So if you make all those turnovers, make all those mistakes, that just creates points on the opposite end. So I'm not surprised that they gave up 40 points in that fourth quarter when they had so many turnovers. But if you can keep that under control, I think this team's defense will be a lot better if you just take care of the basketball. Thank you, Kristen. Appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. Shout out to Dayton Flyer softball in the building. We got to make sure we get to that 2 in the look around, Brother King. We got to get our Flyers update.
It's not good news. They went out to DC and got whooped, but it's okay. My baby's good though. So
yeah, we go rebound. We'll rebound.
Who, Georgetown?
No, George Washington.
George Washington. Okay.
But man, so what we're looking at right now, and why you're going to see some of these hiccups, these turnovers, and things like that, you're looking at a basketball team try to reinvent themselves with 8 games left to go in the season. You're losing your top 75 at 75 player. I know that pisses people off in the chat when we say that, but that's what he is. He's been nominated for that. He's won that award. We have to play completely different basketball. So that's why when a Hall of Famer told you that he's a good basketball coach, this is why. He's taking his punches to the jaw, and he's finding a way to LaMelo Ball swerve on that corner and still keep us in a competitive state. Now,
whoa.
There you go. I know it's the Phoenix Suns. I know it's the Philadelphia 76ers, but we got to think about this as when the guru was out there hitting people on that Howard practice field. How was it once you finally got to hit a guy with a different jersey on, right? That's what this is for us. This is practice against guys with different jerseys. So we're gonna get better. I'm not saying we're gonna win the NBA championship right now, but we got to figure out a way in this week and a half to get ready to play in this first round series. One thing that I want to go back to when Chris called it BS, this is where Chris is absolutely 100% right on that. If you play like that with this many turnovers against the Indiana Pacers, the Detroit Pistons, and New York Knicks, you are going to get cooked. We got to clean it up if we're going to beat one of those teams. And I think everybody in this chat, whether you agree with my points, Chris' points, Trey's points, whether you think that Doc Rivers is the worst coach ever, the best coach ever, we all want to get out this first round. Feel like it's been forever. So we got to clean that stuff up. I got confidence in these guys that we can do it. I saw Damian Lillard today in a basketball jersey. I know it's just a picture, but I'm kind of excited about that. But 120 points, man. I'm excited, man. I don't know, man. I'm not going to sit here and throw a ticker tape parade because we beat the Phoenix Suns with no KD and no Bradley Beal and no Royce O'Neal. But when you lost as much as what we lost, and, you know, you get so pissed off, you drop F-bombs on the post game and stuff like that, it's just great to be happy for once, man. We smiling because we happy.
Yeah, no, it's no ticker tape parade, but I'll say that I think a lot of people. This is what I'll say. I don't even think. I know there's people who thought they were still gonna find a way to lose this basketball game. I know there are people going to and go, oh, they're gonna lose. No, like you can still go out and play some good basketball. And you're right, Justin. You're going out there to try to figure out a way to get yourself prepared to play in the first round, whether that's against New York Knicks or whether against the Indiana Pacers, whether against Detroit Pitt. However, and it's probably not Pacers, but it's probably going to be the Knicks or the Pacers, preferably the Pacers. Now, again, if you beat the Knicks, if you go to play the Knicks, it's a much tougher task. If you play the Knicks playing well, again, it just adds to Giannis' legacy based upon what we have, but we're not there yet. Listen, score the basketball, and if you shoot the ball this well, you move the ball like you saw. Great point where both of you guys talking about moving the basketball, and Giannis playing the point guard. 11 assists tonight from Giannis. You got it. And going back to Ryan Rollins, hitting those shots, like he was 5 of 7 from 3. At least 4 of them were wide open. At least, because the attention is going to Giannis. He's kicking out, hit those shots. Same thing with Taurean Prince. 4 or 5 from 3. I would say 3 or 4 of those in the corner, wide open. He's taking those looks. You got to hit him, and if you hit him, you're definitely in a good spot. Let's go to the chat. To Tony Rosen here. Go ahead.
Can I just say one quick thing about Chris King's Ohio brethren? Ryan Rollins has a pure stroke, man. Just watching the form and all that stuff, man. That is a beautiful shot. Hey,
he said he got what? What he got?
He has a beautiful stroke. No pause.
Hey, yo. Okay. Stroking that thing.
Shout out to JT.
Charles Posen says, "My God, that was a trash performance. We would have lost to nearly any other team tonight." Do you agree with that? Would we have lost to nearly any other team tonight? I just don't. Again, most teams don't even have a Devin Booker. Most teams don't have a Devin Booker on their team that are capable of getting you 39 on. And again, I thought he was defended very. I believe if we go back and look at all of his shots, I bet you 80% of them were defended at a high level that he made. The ones that he made. So no, I don't know. I don't know that. I do. Again, I agree that we gave some offensive rebounds. I don't know that any other team would have beaten us. And I disagree with that because I've seen us lose to any other team based on some of the performances we've had. I don't know. I just disagree with that.
Yeah, and a lot of times you put up 133, you're probably not going to lose to many teams in the NBA. I think part of the defensive lapses were the turnovers, but then again, you also not a lot of teams have a guy that can catch fire like how Grayson Allen did, and that's partly on the Bucks, the way that they just left him open. You talk about them trapping and stuff like that, but I think a lot of those were just off of turnovers, and then it made the Bucks lazy. But at the end of the day, 133 is going to win you a lot of basketball games. It wouldn't have beat the Atlanta Hawks the other night, but when you're able to come out in that first quarter and build a big lead, yes, they bring it back a little bit to 4, but then you go and build another lead. I think that sets you up. I think it's more so encouraging that you're able to win multiple quarters in a basketball game by a big margin out of the Bucks, and they did that tonight, and I think that's why you saw them win the game.
How many free throws Devin Booker had tonight? I couldn't see it fast enough.
He went 8 of 8 from the line tonight. 8 free throws.
And I mean, a lot of that stuff. I mean, he had 3 of them off of flail your legs up foul. Like, I mean, he's another foul merchant. So I agree. Good basketball. Good defense by Kyle Kuzma, man. I mean, and like both of you brothers have alluded to, man, Devin Booker, as much as he annoys you, he's going to get to his spots and he's going to score the basketball game. My biggest thing as being a Badgers, Marquette, and UW Milwaukee fan is seeing Grayson Allen and the Jones boys just make shot after shot, man. That just frustrates me, man. I thought we were in 15 in the championship game all over again in Indianapolis, man. Those dudes found a shot. I mean, Grayson made some very tough shots tonight. I mean, I do think Grayson is a legit shooter. That's about it. He's a better shooter than that boy from Duke that coaches the Los Angeles Lakers. I wouldn't go as far as say Damian Lillard. I thought Grayson made some good plays tonight. I think Grayson is a very serviceable role player in the NBA. However, I think Ryan Rollins outperformed him tonight. And when it switched for Rollins on him, I thought Rollins played good D. We just like really we just need TP to get back to that TP game that he had earlier in the year, man. Like I really feel like he does some good things, but he struggles sometimes defensively and offensively. And if we could clean that up, if we could clean up those forces to Brooklyn Brook down there in the post, man, I think we're in a good spot, man. And hey, man, I'm checking the chat, man. I told y'all I'm not gonna look at it because they make me mad. Sometimes I say some things I'm not supposed to say, and my niece is watching, and my mama watching, and my daddy watching, and then I get these text messages. I'm like, man, I'm just with Brother King. You got to look out for me, man. I'm sorry. I don't see a lot of Kuzma hating the chat tonight. I don't understand what's going on.
Knock on wood. Don't jinx it. Don't jinx it. Sometimes let them lie. They waiting.
What was he, Chris? He's plus 26 tonight?
Yep.
Is that what he said? Plus 26?
Oh,
yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Y'all jokers quiet tonight, though. That's okay.
Yeah, I think Charles says TP is the worst passer on the team. Iron Man Clan says TP should not be starting at the 2. I agree with that. Again, I think TP's playing out of position. What you cannot deny about Taurean Prince, there's a role for guys that shoot as well as he shoots. 4 or 5 from 3 tonight, that'll play. He had a big one in the 4th as well. Again, I think he gets in trouble when he starts driving. And again, when in doubt, just give it to Giannis. When in doubt, give the Giannis. He doesn't understand that. And I agree. Defensively, I think he gets a little lost. Off ball especially. So yeah, I don't necessarily disagree with some of the thoughts with his defensively either.
You also watch that 4th quarter and you see multiple times where the Suns were able to cut it to 7, and then who's there with the big 3? He's wide open. And it's TP. And it's just like, how can you not have the guy playing minutes because he's shooting the 3 so well? What is he, number 1 in the league right now?
Yep.
And he has been for a while. Like, there are good things that he brings to basketball. It's going to be on Doc to be able to find how he can deploy him in certain points in the playoffs. And it's just going to be matchup based because I feel like even in a night like tonight where he did hit some big shots down the stretch, he did get lost on Grayson Allen a couple of times. He did get lost behind, some off-ball movement, and the Suns were able to kind of exploit that. And so he's going to have to play because of the shots that he makes and takes sometimes, but also the defensive stuff, the defensive issues, they've been going on for a long time now, and those are hard to just kind of brush by.
Man, I tell you, when I watched this game, man, I really wish there was somehow some way where we could have got I believe the kid from Charlotte, Nick Richards. That's his name.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He's a ball player, man, and he does all that junkyard dog stuff that doesn't show up in the stat column. I think he plays good defense. I thought Brooke did. I felt like Brooke had a good game to be 37 years old. Happy birthday, Brooke. Hey, man, listen. Brooke is in the latter part of his career. I saw they called him on the TNT joint. They called him Fro Lopez, which was hilarious. Shaq, throwing his jabs, man. But it is good to find a way to win basketball games. And let's not discredit this Phoenix Suns team. I know they're minus a lot of guys, but this is a team fighting for their playoff lives. Yeah, we know they're not a good basketball team, and the homie said in the chat that we would have lost to any other basketball team. Maybe so, but like you gentlemen said, I don't know if you got another guy that's going to go for 39, but a few other guys in this league, man. But the important thing is we're getting things on tape, like Chris mentioned, with TP getting lost on Grayson Allen, that hopefully TP can watch that tape and say, hey, I should have went left instead of right here. I'm going to adjust here. I'm going to adjust there. Because these guys are professionals too. I got a lot of confidence. I got 1,155 reasons to feel like Doc Rivers is going to do a good job in this playoffs. I'm just saying though, but he a bad coach. Shout out to the Hall of Famer.
There's a lot of talk from about Sydney and what he said. Go ahead.
One thing, all you dummies, now they about to make me mad, Chris. All you dummies talking about this man should turn in his Hall of Fame credentials and all that.
That's crazy.
That's just stupid. It's asinine and it's ridiculous. This man is one of the best players in NBA history. You know why I say that? Because he's in the Hall of Fame. Don't discredit that man because he has a different take than you. Hey, Chris thought that the Bucks played like bullshit. I'm happy for a win. I'm not going to discredit my brother because he has a different opinion than me. You don't have to slander, man, because his credentials speak for themselves.
It's true.
And he coached in this league. So I think we should give a little bit of credence to what he says. You ain't got to wholeheartedly agree with it and jump off the home bridge because he says a jump. But he definitely deserves some credence. Sorry. I just want to get it off my chest for.
By the way, appreciate that because that kind of segues us into, by the way, Sidney Moncrief full interview, 45 minutes, dropping tomorrow. So
hey, that's been a good one. 45 minutes of Sidney Moncrief. I thought we did a good job, fellas. So I can't wait to see it in its entirety. I hope you guys enjoy it as well. Herman James says now we talk about people's strokes.
For sure.
Yeah, and Herman says Herman also says 39 points and 32 shots, not that efficient, but he was getting to his spots. Again, it was not PJ Tucker on KD. I'm not saying that, but that's what it kind of reminded me of. Like KD, it was a tough it was tough sledding for KD, and he still put up numbers. Like I really thought it was tough sledding for Book. But he got his numbers tonight, and so he's a very tough player. I saw somebody else in the chat saying, talking about Charles says, not going to hate on Kuz, but man, how Kuz got the plus-minus number tonight is beyond me. And then somebody else said, well, it's because he was on the floor with Giannis. And again, that was true. But again, the other retort that people have said is, well, Kuz and Giannis, they can't play together because they can't be on the court at the same time. I saw one today that was talking about like how Giannis can't score anymore since the All-Star break. And again, people just use numbers to manipulate and say whatever they want them to say. It's like, wait, because I believe since the All-Star break, he's averaging like 27 or something a night. And they're like, well, he can't score because of the spacing. It's like, are y'all like conveniently forgetting that Giannis came back and was on a minutes restriction because he was hurt when he came back? That had more to do with it than any type of spacing is the same tonight. He put up 37. I don't think it's the spacing, man. I think he was hurt. He was on a minutes restriction. And I think you could tell his lift wasn't the same. And I don't know if his lift is the same right now. But he saw blood in the water tonight with the Phoenix Suns. Saw guys that couldn't guard him and went right after him. And again, if you're looking at and I know people say, oh, I don't know if we can beat the pace in the series. That when Giannis has that look in his eye, like I'm going downhill and nobody can stop. I'll ask you guys, name the guy in Indiana that can stop Giannis. Name the guy in Indiana that can stop him. If he decides I'm bully ball and nobody can do anything about it, name the guy.
There's nobody in Indiana's history of basketball, excluding no one in their prime, including both the Davis boys. You probably put both of them on Giannis. He gonna score on them. I'm not gonna say 275, but he gonna score.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I don't see it. I don't see it. Let's keep moving along here. Good. Bucks win 133-123. Let's keep moving. And I want to ask the chat too. King says nobody. That's the answer. Rollins versus KPJ. I saw a lot of people, and I saw some things where people have asking, who should start in the playoffs. I think we could make an argument, and I would make the argument that Kevin Porter Jr. has a higher ceiling from a night-to-night basis. He has one of the higher ceilings on the team, to be honest with you. For everybody not named Giannis, he has a very high ceiling. He has a very low floor. Rollins, not as high of a ceiling, much higher floor as far as his play goes. When Rollins is hitting that shot like he was tonight, again, 8 of 10s, he's not going to do that. 5 of 7 from 3, he's not going to do it. But the open looks that he gets when Giannis is kicking out, if he can hit those shots, man, that's a good basketball player. And he defends at a high level as well for his size, for his position. I guess my question is, in the playoffs, if you're Doc Rivers, and maybe we're getting the answer because with 7, 8, 9 games left to go, Doc Rivers is turning around Rollins and starting the basketball game. Not only has he turned to start the basketball game, tonight Rollins plays 31 minutes. Kevin Porter Jr. plays 17. Who do you start at the point guard position going in the playoffs? I think until a couple games ago, I was thinking Kevin Porter Jr. because I want to see if he has the hot hand. And I'm like, hey, KPJ and Giannis, and let's roll with that and see what happens. I'm starting to turn the tide because Rollins I almost want to say he's a little bit better and more in control from a point guard standpoint. He's a better defender. I think he gets his hands on just as many basketballs. And again, when he's hitting the three, and again, when you're playing with Giannis and his starting lineup, Rollins and Kuz are probably going to be the guys that you're going to be okay with taking shots and going to have the most room. He's going to get looks. Rollins open. If he's hitting that shot, I almost think I start Ryan Rollins. I almost think you start Ryan Rollins. Tish says you start them both, but again, then who do you come back? Then what do you do backup point guard? But I think if you're talking about Rollins versus KPJ, I'm going Rollins right now. What do you say, Chris?
Yeah, like just looking at kind of the numbers, and as Ryan Rollins has kind of progressed into playing more minutes, and I think the main concern with Ryan Rollins is, yes, that he doesn't have as much of a high ceiling as KPJ, but also he's aggressive on defense, and sometimes that results in a lot of fouling. And where that becomes an issue is teams get in the bonus, and Ryan Rollins is being aggressive, and he's up there 4 fouls and getting 2 fouls in 2 minutes down the stretch, and then those are 4 free points. That kind of stuff can't happen. I don't think KPJ would do that, but I also think that seeing what I saw from Ryan Rollins tonight is very encouraging. Number one, because he made clutch shots and clutch moments, and we saw that in I think the Denver game as well, where he hit a big 3 down the stretch. They didn't win that game, but he's obviously forced to be put in some of these moments, and he's actually making the most of them there. So I like Ryan Rollins, but to me, I just think when you're missing a guy like Damian Lillard, it's so tough, and you're going to need a guy with a ceiling that can go for a 30-point game, maybe go for a 40-point game, maybe even like we saw in this season, go for a triple-double. And so, yeah, to me, I think Ryan Rollins is getting close. He really is getting close, because a lot of times you see where KPJ lets his game, if he's not making shots, if he's missing layups, stuff like that, it'll impact him, and ultimately it turns a bad night into a terrible night. And you just can't have that. I think Ryan Rollins has a bit more composure out there. But to me, I just think missing a guy like Damian Lillard, this is assuming Dame doesn't come back, I would probably go with KPJ just because of the experience. And, Ryan Rollins hasn't played a minute of meaningful playoff basketball, I would say. I don't know if KPJ has either. But to me, I just think the seasoned guy I would take as our point guard right now.
So when I look at it, when we first got KPJ, I wholeheartedly agree that KPJ has the higher ceiling. After watching Ryan Rollins these last 4 games, I'm not sure if KPJ even has a higher ceiling than Rollins right now. Like, I think Rollins has so much more to give. And the thing about it is, when you have a Giannis, like a lot of KPJ stuff, you see him dribble into bad situations. Sometimes he makes a Herculean effort and makes a great shot. But a lot of times it takes that Herculean effort where Rollins just looks like he's just out there hooping. It's effortless. Let me hit this open 3. Let me get to the bucket here. Let me swing and get this pass to Brook Lopez. I think that as KPJ watches more film with Doc Rivers, he's going to get better. Doc was a guard. He was a defensive guard as well. But right now, I say start Ryan Rollins. And even when, knock on wood, Dame comes back, still start him with Dame. And the reason why I say that, because what you're going to lack from Dame defensively, Rollins is going to give you. I think KPJ is an immense talent that we have, though. And I think we are so fortunate to have both of these young dudes. And if we can figure out a way to keep these guys and keep them bought into the system, I truthfully believe we have the backcourt of the future, right? Because in the future, you can see Rollins as your primary, like, okay, don't kill me, chat. But I see a lot of Joe Dumars, Isaiah Thomas type stuff with these two guys, man. And I'm not saying they're there because those are huge shoes to fill, Hall of Fame dudes, et cetera, but you see a lot of it. Rollins plays good, strong defense, can hit the open shots. KPJ is just, he's a dog. And we'll get there at one point, but I'm going to say start Rollins, man. That's what I'm going to say.
Rick Hamilton saying we don't want Dame back. I don't know about that one. Charles saying Dame not coming back. Go ahead. Yeah.
Real quick, I just got to say, knowing Doc Rivers and knowing the way this is going to go, it's probably going to be Ryan Rollins. The way that this thing is ending this regular season, I don't just imagine a world where Doc Rivers goes, hey, we're going to have you start all these games leading up to the playoffs, and then all of a sudden the playoffs hit, we're just going to insert KPJ. So what I think should happen and what are going to happen is two different things. I do believe that Ryan Rollins will be the starting point guard, and I don't have an issue with that. I would just say I think there's going to be moments where you're thinking, hey, you're missing Damian Lillard, a guy that you were going to rely on in the playoffs, barring he makes a big comeback, that you're missing that kind of production offensively. And I think more so KPJ can do that more than Ryan Rollins can. But I like them both.
Kung Fu Kenny says Ryan's 3 career highs in the past 4 games. What do I mean his ceiling is low? No, it's not. It's, again, you have to pay attention to exactly what's said. Nobody said his ceiling is low. What it said is his ceiling lower than Kevin Porter Jr.'s. And when I say that, I mean that Kevin Porter Jr., to me, I don't think that this is what I mean. And somebody said KPJ can score 20 in a quarter. That's what I mean. I don't think Ryan Rollins can look around, oh, I don't have nothing going. 20 has he step back, 3 ball, let's go back down the court. Up, come back down the court. Ooh, nobody's open. Oh, man, y'all can't do nothing. Oh, bet. 20, has he, come back here, pull up mid-range. Got you. To the back. I don't think he has all of that in his bag, is what I'm saying. Now, what I would say is Ryan Rollins, here's the difference to me and why I would start Ryan Rollins with Kevin Porter Jr. as well. He is more of a point guard than Kevin Porter Jr. in the traditional sense. I mean, in the traditional sense, because to me, Kevin Porter Jr. can get very sloppy with the basketball. He can turn it over a little bit. And I just feel like, and the crazy thing is, the beginning of the year, I didn't feel like that. I thought, if you remember the beginning of the year, Rollins was having a tough time bringing the ball up the court. Like Rollins was looking like Chris Paul in the finals. I got to back the ball up the court because people were trying to take it. I don't think he's had a game in the last 3 weeks where people are just pickpocketing him as he's coming up the floor. So to me, he has gotten much better. And again, I just feel more comfortable like this. Do I think he can go do the things I just talked about with regularity? No, but I feel more comfortable when he has the ball that he can get us in and out of sets. Now, again, maybe the difference is because Kevin Porter Jr. is usually not on the floor with the starters. And maybe that's why, Rollins looks a little better at times. That could definitely be part of the equation. But yeah, I just feel a little more comfortable with him with the ball. And again, just look at the assists tonight from the starting group. I got 5 assists from Kuzma, 11 assists from Giannis, 6 assists from Brook Lopez, 5 assists from Ryan Rollins. So 4 of my 5 starters tonight had at least 5 assists in that starting group. That's pretty good basketball. And then turnover, Rollins had 2, and again, everybody had a lot of turnovers. Brook had 4. I would say it's because I think we were talking a little bit earlier, and it's just a little off subject, about why nobody's talking about Kuzma as much. And it's because even though he had 4 turnovers, I think one was an offensive foul. He didn't have the
circus turnovers.
He didn't have a circus turnover, throw the ball off the side of the backboard, dribble it off my foot. And he didn't have those tonight. And so when you play within the semblance of an offense and you're not looking crazy out there, yeah, you don't get noticed as much. Again, the same thing as Chris. Like Chris Middleton didn't have a ton of turnovers, but they were just crazy looking when he had them. Kuz just has to be under control. And again, tonight, he didn't start the game off well shooting the ball, but in the second half, he got to his spots a little bit better, hit a couple threes. You end up 5 of 10, 12 points, and you don't look stupid. and you play good defense, yeah, no, you people aren't going to sit around and harp on you as much as they could.
But everything you just mentioned is, and I know One Punch Man, and I knew that as soon as I mentioned two Hall of Fame, probably arguably, at least in my lifetime, probably one of the best backcourts in the history of the NBA, Joe Dumars and Isaiah Thomas. That is kind of exactly what happened with those guys, right? Ryan Rollins, solid defense, make the open shots. Joe Dumars would never go for 50 on you, but if you left him open, he could burn you. And that's why he made consistent All-Star games. But Isaiah Thomas was the guy, which is what I see a lot of KPJ. KPJ just has to stop those. Like the turnovers that frustrate me the most is when KPJ dribbles out that clock to 2 or 3 seconds and then shovels it to Prince or Kuzma or whoever, and they take a shot clock violation. But I think that watching this team and watching the tape that they're going to watch, and this is where I think you have the benefit, and this is maybe why Giannis wanted a coach that hooped in the league, because he can point stuff out, especially in a backcourt situation, and he has a credibility that say that I did this. Same thing that Jason Kidd did, but I know we don't hear nothing about Jason Kidd because he's another terrible coach like Doc Rivers. Go ahead, Trey. I'm sorry.
Now Charles says that we're overhyping some dudes that are barely in the league, talking about KPJ and Rollins. And even if that's the take you want to go, that's what hey, I mean, I told the story before. I had a coach football, Mighty Mike, Junior P, whatever it was, and named Coach Aiken, and we were sorry as I don't know what. And people try, how we gonna gotta go what you got? That's all we can. This is what we have. Like, so I know we can cry about what our lineup looks like, but that's what we have. I saw somebody else saying he thought Rollins would play good defense on Halliburton in the playoffs. I really think, well, no, maybe you put Kuz on Siakam. I don't know. I would think about Kuz on Halliburton too, though, but I don't know. I don't know. You got to think about it. Todd saying, yeah, I'm not. He's always in the Dame stuff. I'm not gonna get there with Todd either. Chris, you had anything else before we go on to the to seeding?
No, I just think that, like I said, I think this is the way Doc is going to go is with Ryan Rollins. But with KPJ, to me, I just think that you've seen flashes where he's been able to have kind of the key to the offense. And then there's flashes where he does well facilitating. But a lot of that comes with also scoring the basketball too. And that kind of opens that up. So some of the positives you see from KPJ are coming off of the bench. And whatever way they decide to go, I think it's kind of in our best interest. I don't think going with either one would necessarily hurt the squad as long as they're both playing big minutes, because you're going to have to, no Dame, if that's the case.
Charles says Pacers are going to run circles around the old dogs in the series. I'm telling, I don't see it. I want this Pacers matchup. I truly believe this is not even me being a homer. This is not me being an optimist. I just don't fear the Indiana Pacers. I really don't. We took them to 6 with no Giannis, no Dame for 2.5 games. We won a game without Giannis and Dame in that series. If Damian Lillard was healthy that series, I think we win that. I think we win that series too. So no, I'm just not afraid of the Indiana Pacers. You got to do some good things. You have to do them right. But the Pacers do not scare me. I think you win that series. You know where else you win?
Curly's
Waterfront Sports Bar and Grill. Absolutely. You can go out there and win for sure at Curly's Waterfront Sports Bar and Grill out in Pewaukee, Wisconsin, Lakeview Boulevard. Get on out there tonight. They had $3 bottles and pints because, of course, it was a nationally televised basketball game for the Milwaukee Bucks. $3 bottles and pints during all Milwaukee Bucks televised games. And, of course, you know what they're doing on Wednesdays and Thursdays?
Bingo and trivia. Yes,
sir. If you do well bingo, you do well in trivia. Get out there. You get some Bucks tickets, section 102, row 23 seats, 1 and 2. Head on out there. Enjoy yourself out at Curly's Waterfront Sports Bar and Grill. Tell them the Gru sent you. Tell them the Cream City Crossover sent you. That's Curly's Waterfront Sports Park, sponsor of the Cream City Crossover. If you are listening to the sound of my voice, you should be hitting the like button right now. To be honest with you, that's what you should be doing. Somebody said in the chat, yeah, go ahead and hit that like button for us. If you're just glad the Bucks got back on the winning side of things, no matter what you think about it, if you're glad the Bucks got back on the winning side of things, hit the like button for us. We would really appreciate it. Let's talk about seeding. Before we get the game balls here. The Bucks right now get the win. They now sit one game back of the Detroit Pistons. They have 2 games left with the Pistons. As long as they split with the Pistons, they own that tiebreaker. So they are a true one game. Like it's not really one game back. Like one game back means you win. You don't have to overtake Detroit. You just need one game back. Herman James is exactly right. The Pacers are a fluke 4-point shot away from getting swept. Absolutely. Mickey says, I don't see how you can be confident in this team no matter who they play. I'm not. I'm confident in 34. I'm confident in 30. I know what I got in 34. 34 is a dog. And I know 34 ain't seen a full playoff run in 2 years. 34 ain't never been out of the first round when he's had a full playoff run since 2021. Because 2022 we got to Boston in the second round. 23 he was hurt for some of that series. 24 he didn't play at all. So I trust 34 that he's gonna do what he needs to do to get done, especially against the Indiana Pacers. But as I look at the standings, you're one game back from Detroit to get that Indiana series. I know some people were thinking you're gonna be the 7 seed. Not gonna happen tonight. The Atlanta Hawks, did they lose tonight? I believe they lost. So they dropped back. Atlanta and Orlando are now tied. They are both 5 games back of the Milwaukee Bucks. With the Bucks have 7 games to go. It's just not going to happen. That where either one of those teams is going to catch us. So you have an outside shot. Like the Bucks have a better chance of getting 4 seed than they do of dropping back to 7. So so where do you want to go when you're looking at the standings here? If you want to overtake Detroit and be the 5 seed. And there's some questions from the chat, questions from you guys as to what you do here. Because I think there's one school of thought that is whatever. And somebody in the chat, somebody tell me when does Giannis hit the requisite number of games played where he will be eligible for awards? I don't know. Somebody tell me. I think he's got to be like 4 or 5 left, maybe 3 or 4. When does Bobby Portis get back? I believe he gets back on the 4th. I believe after April 4th, maybe he's back. One of those dates. But you look at what you have coming up. You beat the Phoenix Suns. You have the 76ers, who are 23-53. They're tanking. You got to beat the 76ers on Thursday. The Detroit Pistons have the Thunder on the 2nd. Tomorrow night, they play the Oklahoma City Thunder. If they lose that game and you win on Thursday night, you can end the week. You can end the week in the 5 seed, right? I believe so. You can end the week, and you can end the week. Well, Detroit has Toronto on Friday, so maybe not. But then you have Then you have the Heat coming up on Saturday, and you have the Pelicans on Sunday. Like, here's my question for you guys: are you gunning it for the 5 seed? Okay, and Herman James says that he needs 3 more games left to hit that number. Are you gunning it for the 5 seed, especially with your next 2 games being against Philadelphia and New Orleans? Or are you let's get Giannis 3 more games and let's rest him up for the rest of the week and get ready for the playoffs no matter who they play. And that way you have a healthy Giannis. What is your approach? Do you think the Bucks get the 5 seed? And again, I think your goal here is down these last 7 games. Really, let's say 5 games because you have 2 left with Detroit. You need to go 4-1 because your 2 tough ones are Minnesota and the Heat, really. Those are only 2 tough games until you get the last 2 against Detroit. So you need to go 4-1 and split one between Minnesota and Miami. You could easily win both of those games and head into the Detroit 2-game 1-1. I think is that a home and home?
Yes.
You can head into that sitting pretty, and you only need one to tie and take the 5 seed. What are you guys doing with 7 games left to go?
You absolutely gun for it, because Giannis is already on a minutes restriction right now, but the potential of not having Damian Lillard versus a team and a big market team like a New York in the first round, a team that's got all the hype around them, I just don't think you necessarily want that when you have the opportunity to go and take it and go play in Indiana. I think that there's still some, I would say, animosity from these Bucks players that were on the team last year. I would hope so. I think Giannis wants to be out there against an Indiana. And I think this is very doable to, even without Damian Lillard, I think this is very doable to really give this thing a push right now to where maybe if, say, Detroit drops a couple, to where maybe Giannis doesn't even have to play the last one. Maybe you don't even have to play the last 2 if you really, really put it on these next 5 teams. And I think it's realistic that you could go 4-1 against the tanking Sixers, the terrible Pelicans, and then a Miami Heat team that's just really not all that impressive anymore, that they don't have Jimmy Butler. And even the Timberwolves have had moments this season where they haven't looked great. I mean, we beat them with no Dame, no Giannis. And so I would say that you gun for it now, and then if things go poorly, then you'll have some more clarity on, hey, we're not going to be able to, even if you beat Detroit a couple times and New Orleans in that third to last game, where you just sit Giannis and then say, all right, we built the bed, we got to lay in it and go play New York.
And just for Jay Phil in Texas tweeted me and said Bobby comes back versus Minnesota. Go ahead.
Yeah, so what I want to see in this stretch is I want to see Brooks' minutes minimalized to make sure that he gets into this playoffs with the opportunity to be as healthy as possible. He's logging a lot of minutes right now. We're talking about 30 plus, 40 plus. Brother just turned 37 years old today. I mean, I couldn't play 37 seconds in an NBA game in my prime in my life. So I can't imagine what it is being 7-1, 2 bills plus some change. But you got to get this 5 seed, right? I'm a firm believer once you get to the playoffs, anybody you play is a good basketball team. That's why they're in the playoffs, especially if you're talking about anywhere from 5 on up, not in the play-in. But you got to get there. And we owe Indiana one. Like, if we owe anybody something, it's Indiana. Next would be Miami, but that team is dispersed. So we got to send the Oshkosh boy on to the backpack land of Bagash and beat his brains in. We got to send his daddy home, his brother home, his mama home. We got to send all them Halliburtons on back up. I don't even think they got a highway that go for that. You got to go 145 and 41 to 45 and get on out of Milwaukee. That's what we need to do. So whatever it takes to get there, do it. But keep these guys healthy. I agree with Chris. We can beat these New Orleans Pelicans without Giannis. We should be able to. I think that's kind of what you're alluding to, Chris. But get there, and then we just take our chances, whatever. Anything else we're playing with house money. And, oh, baby, you get the letter O to come back at some time? Jeez. Let's go ahead and have a party now.
Yeah, I think that the way you handle this, it really, to me, depends upon how they play. If you do come out and drop for whatever reason to the Pelicans, or Philly Thursday or something to that effect, if you're not in position to get the 5 seed, then after Giannis plays in 3 games, you give it up. But I think I believe you absolutely go try and get it. I see a couple comments where some people say you go do it. Some people have said, rest Giannis and have him as healthy as possible. And I was thinking, you have to. I mean, I do wonder about his leg. You should be able to go beat. Again, I know you don't have Dame or Giannis. You should be able to beat a Pelicans team without those guys, especially since they've rested Zion and
CJ.
But yeah, I mean, can you take it? But again, maybe this is a game where you try to play Giannis 20, 25 minutes and see if you can get away with it and get a win. It'd be nice. Like I said, this would have been a nice one to run away with and limit those minutes. Same thing you talk about with Brook. That's a great point with Brook about the minutes he's playing. He played 37 tonight, which again is why, like, yeah, could you see a Tyler Smith? Why, could you maybe try to do some super, super small ball if you have a lead or something? Just get a little bit of rest for Brook. I would definitely much rather have that. Now, again, the good thing about the NBA now is that they have this play-in thing that goes on. So, they mess around to play-in for 3-4 days. And you do get a little break before the playoffs just ultimately begin. But yeah, I think you gun for it. I think you go get this 5 seed. I saw some people saying about the Knicks. I don't know. I don't know when. I'm guessing Brunson's supposed to be coming back for the playoffs, right? Is he back? He hasn't come back yet, has he? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how bad Brunson's ankle is. And again, this is why you don't just pick your ball up and go home. You just don't know what's going to happen. You just don't know what's going to happen. Skeleton 21 says Kuzma, Giannis, and Bobby have not played a game together. It is incredible that those guys and that's why, again, I have a very tough time. I'm not gonna get to the trade tonight, but I have a very tough time like crying about this trade. You never saw it. You never saw the vision what they had envisioned for making the trade, making the moves. You never got to see it. So again, I think it's just very hard to make any type of a judgment before you get to see what they had planned. And injuries are an unfortunate part of the game, but that's what it is. But again, last question I asked for you is, do you think that and Chet says the Knicks have turned to the Bucks in 1 year? I don't believe so, because I don't believe the New York Knicks have a chance in hell of winning an NBA title. So no, I don't think that, because the Bucks at their best are an NBA title contender. The Knicks at their best are an Eastern Conference Finals contender. I don't think they have enough to beat either one, Cleveland or Boston. Now again, remains to be seen what Cleveland's gonna do in the playoffs. But yeah, I'm not sitting here and thinking that they're gonna do anything. Todd, dead wrong again. Todd sounds like Bill Simmons. Remember Bill Simmons said that Terry Rozier was the Heat got Terry Rozier, who was 80% of the players, Damian Lillard, for less. No, they didn't. Yeah, Terry Rozier gonna get investigated for stuff he doing. Hey, I don't know what the hell he doing out there. Prize picks gonna be on him. But I'm just saying, let's go out there and see how this thing goes. And I think, again, I got off track. Where do you think seeding wise? This is the last question before we get to game balls. Seeding wise, do the Bucks get the 5 seed? Do they not have enough? I'll go first. I think they do. Would it surprise me if they drop? I mean, it would not surprise me at all if they do something stupid and drop one of these. Or I think my biggest concern is they drop 2 to, instead of splitting Miami, Minnesota, they lose both of those. And that would piss me off too. But I really do think they get the 5 seed, because I think they do what they need to do to get to Detroit with either tied or only needing to be tied. And that's the thing. If you're tied with Detroit, once you get there, you win the first one, you can rest everybody for the next, because all you need is a tiebreaker. So I think they do enough. I think they finish with the 5. What do you think?
Yeah, I think they get it, but it's also, that's like a blind prediction, because this team is so up and down that it could go either way, and I wouldn't be surprised at it. Like, they could lose to the Heat handedly, and then they could go and BS and go lose to the Pelicans or lose to the Sixers, because is Maxey still even playing? If he plays, he goes 40, something like that, and they just end up losing one of those games. Like, I would not be surprised if those kind of things happen on the way to a 6 seed. I just wouldn't be. But I also wouldn't be surprised if they go and do what they're supposed to do, coming off of their first victory in 5 games, and now start to build their own win streak heading into the playoffs, which would be very good for the Bucks to do. So wouldn't be surprised either way, leaning towards them taking care of business.
And for Maxey, he didn't play. He didn't play against Toronto on Sunday. I don't know. Somebody in the chat, does he have an injury designation? But he didn't play. But of course, we've been lighting it up for him. That boy Quentin Grimes.
Yeah,
he been going crazy.
45.
Let me see the game before that. So check the game before that. No, so he hasn't played in the last 2. So I don't. Yeah, he's been out with an injury. But go ahead.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if the Bucks won every game the rest of the season, didn't lose a game to the second round of the playoffs. That's the type of bipolar stuff we do in Milwaukee, man. And hey, man, like Bobby got something to prove, man. So come out here and show him why. Show us why we need to extend you and all that other stuff. What Pat Bev say? He said, "Big Bob on the ass." Come show him. Pause. Come show him, Bobby. Show these dudes who we are. I expect us to, and it wouldn't shock me if the Pacers stop missing a lot of them little Hail Mary fluke Halliburton shots they make, and they end up the 5 seed. And we sweep them boys. They're not good. Sorry, not sorry. They're not good. And I think we got enough to beat them. And like you said, Trey, 34 is ready. He was a shark in the water tonight to smell blood. And if you don't think that boy going into Indiana with something to prove, I don't know what to tell you. We may not beat the New York Knicks. We may not beat the Boston Celtics. We may not beat the Cleveland Cavaliers. We may not beat the Oklahoma City Thunder. Oklahoma City Thunder. I said what I said. Giannis coming out with something to prove, man. I'm gonna put my money on Giannis until Giannis is eliminated. Even if we down 3-0, I wholeheartedly believe in that man. I just think he the best 34 ever to walk through this earth.
Yeah, that's you ain't there. Again, Giannis is a guy who you can put a lot of belief in the playoffs. You know exactly what he's gonna do.
Sims back too.
Yes, you got Sims back. Yeah, and Bobby. I guess this is so. Let me ask you this then before I go to game balls. If the Bucks do what you say they're gonna do, Justin, and they start playing, some really high level. I mean, say high level, but they're playing bad teams. If they do beat Philadelphia and New Orleans twice, and then they get by Miami, and they get and they play hard. Let's say they beat Minnesota, play hard, who's playing tough right now against Denver. Would that grip of wins against bad basketball teams? They're all really everybody down the stretch is bad except for Detroit and Minnesota. Really, if they got those wins, would your mindset shift going to the playoffs, even though those are the wins they got?
No.
It wouldn't move you?
Not at all. Because you brought up a point that I hadn't really thought about is a lot of these guys are shutting guys down for the year. Yeah. A lot of guys are trying to lose an extra couple games so their odds in the lottery can be higher. And I think back to just following, of course, this goes back to Dayton, but following Obi Toppin over his career, I've seen whenever he was playing with the Knicks, he had a career-high 43 points in the late stages of a season. And he wasn't playing like that. He was probably 9 minutes a game. He goes for 43. Those are the kind of games, those are the kind of the players that we're going to be playing against. And so, yes, I would love to win as much as we can. But, it's not going to move me in terms of being oh, okay, we just won 8 of the last 8, to finish this season out. Title contenders, no, I'm not doing that. But I think that it's very much possible that they can do that, though. I think it's possible that they can rattle off a lot of wins and get to that 5 seed. But I wouldn't change the outlook of where I think this team is going.
Yeah, my outlook hasn't changed since the first game of the season, and I'm not going to change it till we eliminate it. Call me delusional, call me a homer, but all I'm focused on is a parade down Wisconsin Avenue. And I think these dudes, you just got to find a way, man. Just find a way. Ryan Rollins proved to me tonight that he can step up and play big minutes. And we've always talked about if we're going to do this, we got to get guys to play above their basketball card. I feel like Ryan Rollins did that tonight. And contrary to a lot of the chat, and I know once you get to Twitter, it's going to go crazy. I don't think Pat was that bad tonight, man. I thought Pat was decent. He did what he's supposed to do. He let some buckets go, but he also scored some buckets that I don't know if Ajax would have got those buckets.
Man, Pat shouldn't play a damn minute in the playoffs.
Yeah, saying Ajax, well, that's a low bar. Let's go to the Twitter. Let's go to Twitter. Porque No Gooey says a backup. Porque No Gooey says a backup 5 who can get a board or 5 and it's a cinch tonight. So saying, if you had any 5-minute could get a rebound, this would have been an easy win. At Sunk345 says, this team continues to shoot itself in the foot every night. We made Nick Richards look like Dennis Rodman for no reason. At JR Horvath says, I think at this point you have to seriously look at trading Dame. I would roll. It's a win tonight. We're talking about trading Dame. I would roll with Rollins. Despite the big drop off in talent. He's younger. The Bucks need to get younger. Start Rollins and Sims next year. Get a lottery one and a player for Dame. Sign Naz Reid. Get young. Okay, that's a lot of. Go ahead.
It's like everyone keeps talking about trading Dame at that contract.
This is tough.
Like, what are we talking about though?
Yeah, I don't even get into trading Dame, but I think it's a very tough sell, making $50-some million coming off blood clots that you're going to be able to get what you want even for him in the first place. Like I almost feel like it's a lost cause. I'd rather run it back and see if what he can do, him and Giannis one more year. That's me personally. At NYC Randy says, I'll take a win. Doc is horrible. Man has to go. Pat C over Andre literally makes no sense. But F it, we won. On to the next game. At Jules ESQ says, got to keep encouraging Rollins to be aggressive with his shot. Point guard play between Rollins and KPJ has been good. It's the overall defense and hustle by our wings and bigs that I find lacking. Portis and Sims can't get here fast enough. At Midwest Baby 3 says, how the hell we shoot 70%? They shoot under 50% and it's dicey. Weird-ass game like this. A Doc Rivers-led team, of course. At Chris55211 says, Ryan, a MF and dog. Oh, my God. At Michael Bunch of Numbers says, Rollins is saving my life in real time. Looks like Giannis still has that fire in him. Playoffs come, check, ball. A couple more here. Yep. At Diehard says, nice rebound win. That was needed, but turnovers, rebounding, and defense remains a major problem. Hoping it fixes itself with the return of Portis, but this should have been a 20-point win. How the hell with how well we shot the ball? 69% and 58% from three. It's crazy to only win by 10. At Yuli X says, we making it out the first round. Giannis is pissed. And then let's do one more here, two more here. At 920 Rep says Giannis needs a closer, and Rollins delivered. Gary Trent Jr. is just not that good. Sorry, 90% of Bucks fans. Okay, shot at Gary Trent. Oh. And then GA_hoop says Dame was in the gym today. Eyeballs. Defense still very bad. A unsatisfied win. So those are the takes from the Twitter.
Can I ask you a question?
Go ahead, you can.
Who put Ryan Rollins in the game to start the game tonight? Who left Ryan Rollins in to close that game? Like, we talk about how bad Doc was, but Doc could have easily started KPJ, right? Half the chat, half the Twitter, half the Bucks Twitter talks about how KPJ should be starting. So I understand why there's so much animosity towards Doc, but we got to give this guy credits for some of the decisions that he makes as well. Am I off?
Yeah, I think that I'll say this. I think Doc is kind of in the same category as Kuzma with fans, where they're going to find a reason. Like I said, does Doc have his problems? 100%. Do I think he gets short in the stick? Yeah, because again, he's dealing with the same thing. And no, we're like, man, we can't wait to get Bobby Portis and Sims back. They're out. AJ Green. No, why is Pat Connaughton playing? AJ Green is out. Again, you could argue with Ajax should have played, but again, these are. I'm just saying he is hamstrung as well with guys being out. So again, but does that absolve him of everything? No, but I think people just look to, oh, Doc sucks. Got to talk about him. Same thing with Kuzma. Kuzma can play great defense all night, can miss a couple shots, make a couple bad reads, otherwise play fine. And then Kuzma sucks. You know, again, it's that same thing of Kuzma can play well, and then you go, well, he was a -14, so that's why he sucks. And then he does whatever he does tonight, and it's like he's a +26. You still get to say he sucks, but nobody mentions plus minus goes to the wayside tonight. So again, I think he's in the same boat where they're just gonna find they're easy targets, low hanging fruit, going after Doc, going after Kuz. It's just real easy to do, and I don't think people are gonna stop doing it. And last I say, by the way, and I've said it before. Now you may get an excuse with the injuries, but at the end of the day, Bucks fans may do it, and you can be all upset as you want to. the people who will be responsible for losing, they're going to point to people will point to Doc, but they're going to point to Giannis. That's what they're going to point to. So everybody, you can cry about all these other guys all you want to. Now maybe you'll get the excuse of being injured, but for the most part, they're going to look at Giannis and go, "Why can't you do it?" And the last thing I say is this team any worse than the team Jimmy Butler drug to the finals? I mean, is Gabe Vincent really better than anybody else on the Bucks team right now? Is he better than Gary Trent Jr.? Now you could argue Bam. But other than that, I mean, it ain't a lot that they had over there in Miami. I'm just saying, Giannis got to get it. Listen, if it's Indiana, Giannis got to get us out of the first round. That's all I'm gonna say.
I need a 65. I need another career high, 65, 67.
Yeah.
But that could very well be the case. Yeah, I think you're right. I think a lot of things went the Heat's way that year as well. But if Giannis is playing at a high level, you never know how far they can go, especially getting an inexperienced Cavs team. Like you saw us, great regular season team that year, and go lose to an 8 seed. Like, if you go see the Cavs, who's inexperienced in the playoffs, who really haven't done much together yet, who's to say we don't get hot? But I don't really necessarily see that. But, I mean, that is very possible.
Andre Jackson Jr. career high is 14 points. Love Ajax. I think Ajax is great. Got his jersey. Love him. Pat Connaughton scored 8 points tonight. And everyone says he shouldn't touch the floor. Just saying. What he gives you on the defensive end doesn't really fill that gap enough to make a perimeter jumper what Pat Connaughton did tonight. And I'm not saying Pat Connaughton's a savior, but at the same time, Pat Connaughton is playing a role off the court that is valuable to this basketball team right now. So we can slander Pat all we want to slander him, but he might be just as valuable as Ajax is, if not more.
I'm going to rattle off one more stat before we go to game balls. And I wonder if you guys can tell me what it is. This dates back to March 13th. 8 of 13, 6 of 6, 7 of 12, 10 of 15, 10 of 12, 8 of 13, outlier 6 of 13, 8 of 11, 9 of 14, 11 of 12. You might know what that is?
That's Giannis from the free throw line.
And again, I didn't add those up, but that's you can live with if he's going to shoot like that end of the year going to the playoffs from the free throw line. I know Ty likes to get on the free throws. That will play. I know that's better than the 50% or whatever the hell it was, because I'm just looking at it and I can tell the only game he shot under 50% from the free throw line, probably under 6%, I'm not sure, is that March 24th against Phoenix, where he shot 6 of 13 from the line. The rest of those nights, he started to pour it on from the free throw line. Okay, let's go to game balls, fellas. Where are you guys going with your game ball? And it's a good one because we get to go to the winning column. And again, everybody's gonna go with the Milwaukee Bucks for the game ball tonight. Where are you guys going?
I'm gonna give it to Giannis. I think knocking down those free throws. I think to me also it really was the 2 of 4 from the 3-point line. Like he shot some big ones. One in the first half, one in the second half. I think that went down. Like those were like just kind of step in and looked a little confident doing it. I'm not sure I would live with Giannis shooting 4 every game, but if he's feeling it and he sees a couple go in or sees one go in, I wouldn't mind him taking a couple because it's there and it opens up so much in his game. 12 of 18 from the field, 37 points, plus 23 on the night, 11 assists. Could have more rebounds, but that's being nitpicky. Really shouldn't even played this many minutes because the Bucks, again, like I said, were BSing, but my game ball goes to Giannis, a.k.a. Wrap Your Willie, a.k.a. Give Her a Break, a.k.a. Dad Strength. There you go.
All right, Wrap Your Willie is crazy.
Dad Strength is crazy, just as crazy. Hey, I put myself together. So, shout out to King of King. Shout out to Kung Fu Kenny. I guess that's what it says. Took my glasses off. I'm going to go Ryan Rollins, man. A.K.A. JC Kidd reincarnated, A.K.A. pass that thing, shoot that thing, A.K.A. pure Ohio hooper, a.k.a. Dayton, what the hell you doing not getting this boy in the building? But got to go to Ryan Rollins, man. I thought he played great defense, great offense, did everything he was supposed to do tonight. Absolutely showed us tonight why he should be on the floor.
Yeah, I'm gonna. I know we like to try to spread the wealth, share the wealth. I think I'm gonna have to pause. I'm gonna have to run behind you and take and take Ryan Rollins too. 23, 5-5. I mean, again, 2 steals, 8 of 10 from the field, 5 of 7 from 3, plus 29 tonight. I mean, yeah, there's no way I can go anywhere else but Ryan Rollins to me with the night that he had. I mean, I guess you could always go Giannis, but outside of that, again, Ryan Rollins was key tonight. He was your second best player on the floor. Played very well, 23 points on 10 shots. So I will take Ryan Rollins, aka should have signed me for longer, aka hey, only 1 year. I'm gonna be back still in the Target next year. Aka starter. Gonna start in the playoffs.
Somebody gotta give out JT's.
Go ahead. Who wants to give out JT's game ball?
Oh, I got you.
Justin, go ahead. Give out JT's game ball.
Brooklyn.
Yeah, there you go.
We gotta go to Brooke Lopez, man. AKA drop step on your mama, AKA birthday boy, dunk on my brother, dunk on your mama again, AKA just good solid basketball game after the AKA Chris King words bullshit. And I thought Brooklyn Brook was alive and in the flesh tonight. Thought he did a lot of good things, man. And the slow pass stuff is kind of paused tonight. So we can go ahead with Brooklyn Brook for JT. Shout out to JT getting some good sleep tonight, though.
Yeah, Tish says Rollins, a.k.a. Mr. Sticky Fingers, a.k.a. Target Bandit, a.k.a. Dame might lose his job. And then Iron Man says, Bucks fans are the only ones that refuse to accept that the NBA is getting younger and won't develop our guys. Yeah, listen, our young guys. Yeah, Iron Man. Listen, you're not wrong about the development thing. But again, that goes back to again. And this is why again, the AJ Johnson stuff does not move me when people are talking about what he's doing in Washington. By the way, I watched the Washington Wizards last night. Again, highlight reel, yeah, but I mean, is he a legitimate NBA player right now? No, he's not. He's not. I'm be honest with you. He's not ready yet. Like again, and it looks good. He'll have some nice nights in Washington with nobody out there, and he'll score some points. But he's not ready. Number one, for us to play right now. Number two. It's not even about that because I like AJ Johnson. I hope that he does turn into something. He needs to be on a team like the Washington Wizards because that's the only place he's going to play. We can do all this cosplaying we want to. That like, oh, the AJ Johnson, that was the Tyler Smith, DNP coach's decision. Livingston, this is what year? This is second year. Livingston, Chris Livingston, DNP coach's decision. Andre Jackson Jr., DNP coach's decision. I'm telling you right now, if AJ Johnson was still on this basketball team, he would have been right over there, DNP coach's decision. You wouldn't even have a concept of what he'd be doing. So, again, we can argue till we're blue in the face. And, again, you can even make the argument that, well, we should be playing. You can make that argument. What I'm saying is after you snap out of that, get back into reality, he would not be playing for us. Whether that's right or wrong, he would be sitting on the bench right next to Bouye with whatever the hell he got going on in his head. That's what he'd be doing.
G's Clippers, come sponsor us, man, and get that boy hair right, man. God damn.
Right. Oh. That's all I'm saying. And again, I like AJ Johnson. He was a project pick, probably wasn't the right pick for us, but he was a project. He just wasn't gonna play, man. He just wasn't. And again, the proof is in the pudding. Doc went 8 guys tonight. That we're missing Dame, AJ Green, Bobby Portis, and Sims. Brooke Lopez, he keeps mentioning every press conference that he needs to play Brooke Lopez less minutes because he's going to tire him out for playoffs, and he still refuses to do it. You play 8 guys tonight against the Phoenix Suns. So, yeah, no. They would not play. That's all. They would not be playing. Go ahead.
let's ask the college basketball insider expert, Chris King. Where would A.J. Johnson be right now if he was on a collegiate team?
I don't know. I think he'd probably be pretty good because of the athleticism. But I don't know if he necessarily – I mean, here's the thing. If you go however many points you average in college, how many points he averaged in the NBL, if you do that in college, you're not getting a combine invite. You're probably not getting that combine invite that really was all horse based it off of to end up selecting him. So, yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what he does in college. But he was supposed to play for Texas. Maybe they would have won that first 4 game had A.J. Johnson been there. Hey, did you see Iron Man?
Tell JT to stop pulling 22.
Yeah,
That's what you want.
Stop pulling a redacted, JT.
Man. Yeah.
One thing for Todd with all the and I get it, man. You're not a Dame fan, but anytime an NBA coach gets a defense to stop a guy, we got to stop discrediting the guy so much that he's trash that you do with Dame Lillard, man. Put a little bit more respect on the guy's name, man.
Nah, he's not trash. He was all-star this year. Yeah, he had very good numbers for him. I know Todd probably thinks they're empty numbers, but he had very good numbers. King says cut Chris Livingston, sign Cam Reddish. Listen, man, Cam Reddish. How many times are we gonna do this? Knicks people were like, hey, why? They were mad that Thibodeau didn't play Cam Reddish, and then we're gonna look around now. But they were mad that Tibbs didn't play Cam Reddish, and then he goes to Lakers. Oh, what do? They get rid of him. Like, at what point do we let the Cam Reddish stuff go?
The common denominator of all the departures is Cam Reddish.
Come on. Come on.
He might be a good one-on-one player, but that's all people watch is YouTube basketball, apparently.
Yeah. Io says AJ has potential. It's not. No, I agree. No, we're agreeing. He does have potential, but that potential would not be recognized here because he would be on the bench. You wouldn't. Again, he would be doing it he'd be doing it in Oshkosh,
helping the Herd get a playoff bid.
Yeah, I mean, again, nothing wrong. And again, I'm not. Yeah, nobody's dissing him. We're saying the organization would not have allowed him. And again, I don't believe I'm taking liberties in saying that. I think the proof is here. They would not have played him. They just wouldn't.
Old boy from Phoenix was drafted before or after AJ Johnson. Done. Yeah.
Chris?
I
think
he was drafted after AJ Johnson, right? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Ryan Dunn was picked after AJ Johnson.
Yeah. Okay.
And Ryan Dunn would help this Milwaukee Bucks team a lot more than AJ Johnson did this year, correct?
Probably.
Yeah.
All right, I rest my case.
I think he would make Andre Jackson Jr. Well, unless you just want to keep Ajax, I think he would neutralize Andre Jackson Jr. But he has some issues offensively too, though, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I know he went through some stretches where he shot the ball well, but he does have some issues. Charles says Knicks preparing for the Bucks by signing PJ. They did. I was kind of surprised they signed PJ for the rest of the year. He
got all them exclusive Nikes on the bench.
Yeah, that's what they want. Looking around the league here, 133-123. Bucks get a win. They're 41st of the season. It would be nice to win 7. To win. I mean, if you go 6-1 and finish up 47 with 47 wins, I'd be okay with that. Timberwolves are up right now, 84-78 over the Nuggets. The Knicks do get a win tonight, 105-91. Over the 76ers. DeLon Wright, 12 points tonight. So he continues to light it up. 14 and 14 for Mitchell Robinson. Again, you talk about getting rebounds. Bucks gonna have to find a way to rebound the basketball against the New York Knicks. OG Anunoby, 27 points tonight for the Knicks. I saw somebody in the chat say they wanted to know if Jericho Sims is coming back because he still has that wrap around his thumb. I haven't heard any update on Jericho Sims. I know before they said it was like a 4-week injury, so I don't know what the actual update is. Again, that'd be a nice one for you guys if Eric Name would like to figure that stuff out. I don't know.
We need to do him like Nick Barnett. Just put the little cast joint on him. We don't need him to score that joint. Just get out there.
Nah, yeah, just go get rebounds, block shots, and move them hush puppies on defense. Yeah, again, I just don't understand y'all people around the team 24/7 and don't have no updates. That just baffles me. Let's
Replace
see.
everybody that's on the beat with Chris King. I shouldn't have said that, but I said it.
Well, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Somebody asked some tough questions around there. Blazers beat the Hawks 127-113. That pisses me off because it makes us look even. That lost the Hawks even worse. Warriors beat the Grizzlies tonight. Let me see. I think Steph Curry had a night, fellas. 52 and 10, 8 assists, 5 steals, 16-31, 12 of 20 from 3.
Unc was cooking.
Wow.
So that back injury was completely overblown then, if he's doing that.
Yeah. Wow, the Warriors are 44 and 31. Warriors have a better record than us? Man.
How many threes? He had 12 threes tonight?
12.
Jeez.
Todd says he had surgery, so you have to think the 4-week timeline is accurate. Yeah, I mean, that's what we last heard. I just don't know if it's, I just don't know. I just haven't heard an update. We got to be coming up on 4 weeks, right? Like, it's got to be right around that time. Bulls beat the Raptors tonight, 137-118. Magic beat the Spurs, 116-105. Other things to look around to our tournament challenge, which right now is, I mean, listen, y'all may have just gave Danny Levin $600 because this man has in the top three. He has 2 of the top 3 right now, and then his third bracket is 4th. They all have Duke winning the title, so I mean, we could be in a scenario where Danny Levin wins all 3 placements, top 3.
He definitely got to come on the show.
Yeah, at least we'll know who's coming on the show.
Yeah, no, I'm looking. I can look at the forecast. The crazy thing though is Swifty Cats. I don't know who Swifty Cats is. Actually has a higher percentage of chance to win. He has Auburn winning it. He has a 24.4% chance of winning the entire bracket. Danny is next, having with a 19.2% chance of winning the bracket. So yeah, we'll see what it ends up as. But yeah, right now Danny's looking like he's in a little bit of the driver's seat to go ahead and win it, especially if Duke wins it all. So I'm way out of contention.
Yeah, I got a shot if we can get that Milwaukee final game in there. But hey man, look, it's a 4-1-4 holiday today, man. You got a Bucks win and the Brewers win on the same day. I feel like we need a parade down Wisconsin Avenue for that. We got your boy Chad Patrick electric today. No runs given up. Brewers shut someone out. We didn't giving up runs to everybody and their mama, and we got a shutout tonight. And hit the Fountain of Youth. Must have been hanging out with my boy Chris King out there in Dayton, Ohio. Christian Yelich went yard tonight, man. What a night.
Did he use a torpedo bat?
Yeah, what do you think? Yeah.
I gotta watch the post game joint after we get off here. See what he did. But torpedo bats are crazy, aren't they?
What do y'all think about him? Do y'all think this is like legitimate cheating, or y'all think, I would say cheating? Do you think it's like exploitation of the rules? I mean, that's the other thing, like the betting stuff has taken, I mean, they're advertising it now, like on DraftKings or whatever, where it's like they're trying to guess the people who are going to use torpedo bats, and they're like putting promos out for those people. Like, I don't know, man. I just feel like there's some manipulation going on. It's like when they juice the balls. Now they're juicing the bats. Then before that they were juicing themselves. Like, what is? I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I don't have a problem. But again, is everybody going to just start using it, and then it kind of gets blown up where everybody uses this torpedo bat?
So if it's within the parameters of an MLB barrel, I don't really see an issue with it because everybody can use them. So it's more so on the guys who are hitting the home runs and hitting the ball well with the torpedo bat. They're just finding the barrel on that thing, and it looks like a bigger barrel, and which I assume it is, more barrel, less guys getting jammed. Pause. But yeah, that's what it is. There you see new players coming out like, yeah, I used it for the first time and it felt good, so I used it and then I hit the ball well. I don't think it's necessarily cheating. Exploiting the rules, maybe, but if everybody can use it, I don't think it really puts anybody at a disadvantage.
I feel like every time we talk about this back conversation, it's going to be a pause moment. So we'll just pause before I say what I'm going to say. But I remember back in Prince Fielder's day, they would use the big handle, and everyone had the big knob on the back. Like I can't even compose myself now. I really feel like it's like that psychological thing, right? Like Chris King plays golf, I play golf, Trey, you play golf. You'll get a new driver. First time you get it, you go out to the golf course, you hitting it straighter, further than everything you hit in your life. But it's more psychological. So I think as time goes on, we're gonna kind of see these guys throw these bets to the wayside. They're gonna say, hey, they're not working when they're not working. Now, O'Neal, what the boy name is not O'Neal. The De La Cruz boy for Cincinnati,
Ellie.
he was absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
Chris King's boy, 4 for 5. What, he had 2 home runs last night, Chris?
Yep. He was a triple side of the cycle, and then he hit a home run.
And then you see Aaron Judge, like, against our beloved Brewers, Lord have mercy. But I think once these guys kind of figure it out, and I saw the picture today, he posted something online where if you're going to let these guys have these torpedo bats, we need to be able to get our whatever they had to give the pitchers the advantage before.
Yeah.
I think everything will even itself out. We'll be fine. But right now, man, these torpedo bats are undefeated.
Yeah, it's looking like it. Switching gears to the NFL, you saw the owners meeting and they tried to get the tush push ban, didn't have the votes, they tabled it for next year. I believe they had 16, they needed 24 teams to get that rule changed. Where do you guys stand on the NFL? Do you think it's whack they're trying to get this out? Do you think this is really motivated by any type of player safety issue, or is this really just the Eagles do this thing so well that we don't want them doing it?
Yeah, I think it's a little whack that teams were going up against it. Like I said this on your Cheese and Q's when we talked about this topic before this even happened, is like, I don't know how you're trying to take football out of football. Like it's almost the same thing with like the kickoffs and stuff like that. Like that's always what we've grown up on. We don't need to change it. They changed it this year. They even trying to change the touchback. Aren't they doing that now? Changing the touchback to 35?
Yeah, because what was happening was people were still, because it was a 25. I believe it's a 25. They moved it from 2025, and I think teams had decided that the extra 5 yards, I'd rather just not have a kickoff and kick it through the end zone. But they didn't want the play to end. They still want kick returns. They just don't want them where everybody's running. So now they've decided, okay, the penalty for kicking in the end zone, a touchback, is now going to come to 35. And I don't think teams are just going to allow. I think they will kick the ball off now. I don't think you can just hand a team to 35-yard line. I think there's a lot of trouble.
Which at least some good came out of that meeting, because I actually do think that they like all the just drilling it into the back of the end zone was getting boring.
Yeah, it's whack.
It was boring, and so I'm glad they actually got together and did that. But I don't think tush push. I think that's stupid. They shouldn't have did that. They shouldn't have even tried against that. So, just go get that kid from Florida that's like 6'6", 480 pounds or something like that, and go make him nose guard, and stop him. So I just think it's trying to take football out of football. You shouldn't do it.
Let me ask y'all a question. Who brought this to the forefront?
Green Bay.
Oh, what y'all call me a homer? Hold on, right a second. I'll be right back. Let me ask this question. Hold on. Give me 1 second. Can't answer this question yet.
Yeah, I don't know. When I look at because Rick Hamilton's talking about the torpedo bat as.
All right, let me answer the question now. Sorry, I mean cut you off, Chris.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah, so man, get that tush push the hell out of here. Terrible football play. It's a rugby play. What else did Matt LaFleur say? It's trash. We don't agree with that. Yeah, Sirianni, what Chris said earlier in the show, he's a bullshit coach that happened to win because of some fluke stuff. Hey, the players outplayed his coaching ability. I hate you, Sirianni. I hate you, Philadelphia. Your cheesesteaks are great. The rest of your city sucks. Coach RJ, you're a bum. Your city's a bum. Your team's a bum. All your teams lose except for the Eagles. We won't see you again until football season again. Get the tush push out of here. Get it out of here with Coach RJ.
Here's the thing I say is it used to be the reason I don't mind the rule being gone is because it used to be you couldn't aid and abet. They call it aid and abet, and you couldn't aid and abet a runner. So it would just be going back to a rule that was already there. It's not like they're taking this away to stop Philadelphia. It was a rule that was never in place in the first place. You couldn't do that originally. So I don't have a problem if they went back to it. I do think there is a pace of play issue. And if I was, I remember that playoff game in Washington where my guy, so my man's name, Frankie Louvu, kept trying to jump over the center because, how do you stop? Again, I think, honestly, if teams want it banned, you do that a few more times. I think there's a legitimate pace of play issue where, you can say, hey, I don't think that I don't think that's something that the people want to see. And again, it got a little weird, especially if you end up giving a team a touchdown because of it. I could definitely see teams wanting it banned. And I wouldn't be surprised next year if that happens, especially if you see a couple more scenarios like you saw in the playoffs with the Washington Commanders.
Well, the only real thing I'll honestly say about it is you can't tell when these offensive guys are offside or the defensive guy who's really truthfully offsides. The guy starts early or not. So, hey, man, but at the end of the day, man, I ain't going to put my cheese head back on again because Chris King will kick me off the air. But, hey, just stop the play, man. And if you don't want to get to that 4th and 1 stuff, then stop them earlier in those downs where they can't even do it.
Well, here's my other thing is they don't allow defenders you can't push your nose guard into the lineman, into the offensive line. You can't do this. I don't understand how you can do it on one side, you can push, but on the other side, you can't push.
Yeah,
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
That's a great point.
I'm not ready for basketball to end, though. I'll tell you what. Basketball's been fun this year.
Oh, speaking of using your guy, I mean, we saw Brooke Lopez get a foul tonight because Nick Richards jumped off his shoulder and Brooke reached. Like, Brooke got – whose whistle's worse, Brooke or Giannis's?
I don't think Brooke has a bad whistle. I think Brooke doesn't think anything he does is a foul.
I agree.
Brooke is like on almost – he's like Luka levels. He complains – Brooke complains every – like, Giannis don't complain every call. Brooke complains about every call. Like, he I don't say gets on my nerves, but he definitely does throw his hands up every single
the worst is when Brooke, as a 7-footer, goes to grift. Like, what are we doing? You're too big to be doing all that stuff. Like, I saw he actually got the foul today, but he caught it on an inbounds pass and just acted like he got hit, and then he just tossed up a mid-range jumper. And it's like, bro, if you don't get that call, that is a wasted possession.
Yeah, I think Brooke does a lot of grifting.
I'm going to defend Brooke to
happy birthday
down that hill because he's close to age than me. He's third in the NBA in blocks, by the way, though. Just third in the NBA in blocks, though.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. Everybody running past him every 5 seconds trying to hit a layup. The broom gonna win the drill sometimes.
Oh my God.
Rick Hampton says, if it's illegal for the defense, why is it illegal for the offense? Yeah, that's my question. Anything else you guys want to get to look around wise? I don't have anything. I know, like I said, suspensions came down, big fight, Detroit and Minnesota. Little Malice in the Palace action, but I don't have anything else. I don't know, like I said, if you guys want to get anything before we get up out of here.
Sidney Moncrief interview dropping tomorrow. We'll see you.
Yes, 100%. That should be a good one. Looking forward to it with Sid and again, I thought you guys did a great job. Again, we want to appreciate Justin for getting him on the program. Rick Hampton says Ryan Braun added distance to his fly balls 1 year with steroids. Yeah, he did.
Hey, chill out, yo. Hey, man, you can't talk about Ryan Braun, man. That's a good
one. Somebody in chat also said that Giannis apparently after the game said he thought Bud should get a tribute video. Like, what kind of videos a coach get? He's standing with his arm folded. What you want?
No, he's got to play random. Immediately. That's all you got.
When you got 2 championships in 50 years, I'd probably agree with Bud. With Giannis, man, I feel like Bud needs to be honored. Bud's a legend, man. He's the reason why some of these Bucks fans that are here now are here, man. And he definitely took the handoff from the guy that started it. And I don't think Jason Kidd will ever get the credit that he deserves for starting this. But Bud took the handoff and ran to the end zone with it. And we're so I know I'm thankful for Bud, but you know, Kid is just he's so amazing with what he did and what he saw. And he was 7 years ahead of the NBA when he put that ball in Giannis's hands. And you know, we wouldn't be talking about a 50-year drought if it was not for Jason Kidd, if it was not for Mike Budenholzer. And you know, we just appreciate him, man. But you know, going forward, man, Chris Kidd, we can't get out of here without a Dayton Flyers softball breakdown, my brother.
It's not a good one. They went on the road and got swept by the George Washington. They're not what they used to be. They're actually the Revolutionaries, which is a crazy name change. But
what were they before? The Monarchs?
Colonials.
Colonials.
Yeah, Colonials. So, yeah, I mean, they didn't play well, but it's all good. You know, it happens. It's just like baseball. It's just like Brewers dropping 4 in a row.
There you go. Who we got next, Chris?
Oh, man, she's going to kill me. This weekend, I think they play. It's some A10 team. They're playing somebody.
Well, we cooking them. That's what that means. We cooking them. We going.
I'll be there.
Hey, there you go. Hey, Dayton Flyers softball official Cream City crossover. #1 fans right here. We all rooting for you, Kristen.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see if what are they going to play? What's their status? I don't even know when softball season starts.
Yeah, it's like the Atlantic 10 tournament is like the last week of May.
Okay, how they looking record wise?
I think they're in the top half.
Okay.
So like they're not bad. They that sweep hurt because they only had lost one A10 game before that, but they're good though.
All right, yeah. Chris has got my all conference vote. So
we might need a Cream City crossover live from the Dayton Flyers softball game.
There you go.
Dayton's a great town. If y'all ain't been there in the chat, pull up to Dayton for a basketball game.
Yeah, no, Dayton definitely fun time being in UD Arena. That was good. We'll do it again next year. Marquette Dayton in Milwaukee.
Speaking of that, it looked like Shaka get a little active in that transfer portal, Chris.
There you go. About time.
Yeah, need to. Dayton out there canceling visits. So, all right, let's end it there. Good stuff, fellas. 133-123 victory for the Milwaukee Bucks tonight. Happy about it. Getting into the win column. And listen, man, I know it. You know, Chris, you said it. You're not gonna be moved. The Bucks going to run here to end the year, but I want to see it. I even if I'm not moved, I'm gonna pretend I'm gonna be moved. If the Bucks can go on a win a winning streak and get this thing rolling, momentum headed into the playoffs. Let's do this thing. Get your butts back in fight. Maybe y'all were late getting into the arena tonight because you're saving up your energy for the playoffs. But all I know is round 1, game 1, when it's time for the Bucks to get in that when it's time for the Bucks to hit the playoffs, you guys better be in there and doing what you can do to help the Bucks to win the championship. And you know, again, far-fetched, whatever. But when you got to be in the dance to dance. So let's go dancing. We will be there, and let's see what Giannis can do. I haven't seen Giannis play. I'll tell you, and I just pray that he does not get hurt in the next 2 weeks. I've got to see Giannis in the playoffs, man. I got to see. I know Dame probably won't be there. I don't care. I want to see it. By the way, you mentioned Damian Lillard was at practice today. Doc Rivers said he was shooting. You know, not. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. They will not rule him completely out. So we'll see. Tish says, I'm just happy they got to win. Good night, fellas in Bucks Nation. Appreciate it. Ed Duggar says Bucks in 6. Absolutely. Let's get back those feels going. Appreciate everybody for joining us tonight. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with us. Hit that like button before you leave, Tish. Hey, everybody, hit that like button. We again, keep joining this. City Moncrief interview drops tomorrow. We'll put it out there. Please go out and watch that. Hope you watch it in its entirety. It's a good interview, not just on basketball, a little bit of life, a little about his book as well that has come out. And I think we'll have some giveaways going with that as well. With his book. So again, go out there, order his book, enjoy it, man. City Moncrief, just a great mentor, great teacher, great leader, great coach. And he has some great takes as well on the Milwaukee Bucks and on life as a Milwaukee Buck, life as an NBA legend, a superstar. That's what he was and what he is currently. Again, we'll be back at it when they play again. Thursday night. Thursday night against the 76ers. Hopefully it's a blowout victory. If not, we'll be there. Win, lose, draw. We will be there and checking this thing on out. I don't think I got anything else, man. Again, want to appreciate our sponsors tonight. Curly's Waterfront Sports Bar and Grill out Pewaukee, Wisconsin, Lakeview Boulevard. Head on out there, enjoy yourself. Good food, good eats, good wings, good everything out there. Curly's Waterfront Sports Bar and Grill. Tell them the Guru since you tell them Cream City Crossover. Since you Curly's Waterfront Sports Bar, sponsor the Cream City Crossover. This has been a Cream City Media Group production from the Guru Crossover III.
Chris King.
Justin.
If I am enemy, it's only because I dare to tell you the truth. Don't take no wooden nickels. Courage.